You can't change your life until you change the habits that shape it. Your future is built in the habits you choose to let go of today. Do you feel like you're constantly fighting against yourself? That no matter how hard you try, the same weak habits keep holding you back? Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of frustration and self-doubt, knowing you could do more, but feeling trapped by old patterns. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people struggle with this, but the good news is, you can change it. You have the power to rebuild yourself. In this video, we're going to dive into how you can take control of your life by eliminating the habits that are weakening you and holding you back. These habits are draining your energy, your confidence, and your potential. But today we'll show you exactly how to break free from them. Imagine waking up each day feeling strong, focused, and motivated. Imagine being in control of your actions, your decisions, and your future. This is possible when you start killing the habits that no longer serve you. So if you're ready to stop repeating the same mistakes and start building a better, stronger version of yourself, keep watching. Now let's dive in. Number 1, destroy the habit that makes you hate yourself. We all have that one habit, that one action, that one thing we do over and over again, which chips away at our confidence and makes us feel less than who we truly are. It could be a habit you've been holding on to for years, something that feels comfortable, familiar, and perhaps even comforting in the moment, but deep down, you know it's destroying you. This habit doesn't just hold you back from success, it creates a toxic relationship with yourself. It's the habit that leaves you ashamed, frustrated, and disgusted with yourself. That habit might be self-sabotage, procrastination, excessive indulgence, or a pattern of negative self-talk. Whatever it is, it creates a cycle of self-hate. Every time you fall back into it, you feel like you're failing yourself. You're stuck in a loop of bad choices, and every time you go down that road, it feels worse. The emotional toll is undeniable, and yet you feel powerless to stop. You want to change, but it feels like this habit is a part of who you are. It's time to face the truth. It isn't you, it's the habit. And the only way to reclaim your life is to destroy it. The first step in destroying this habit is acknowledging its power over you. It's important to understand the impact it has on your life, because until you fully grasp how much it holds you back, you won't have the motivation to change. Look at how this habit is affecting you emotionally, mentally, and physically. Are you constantly battling feelings of guilt or regret after you indulge in it? Do you feel stuck, defeated, or unworthy when it takes over? How many times have you promised yourself you would stop only to give in again? These are the real consequences of that habit. Once you've fully acknowledged the damage, it's time to confront it head on. You cannot destroy a habit by ignoring it or hoping it will go away. You have to be deliberate and decisive. Start by creating a clear picture of what your life would look like without this habit. Visualize a future where you no longer have to wrestle with guilt and shame. Picture yourself living confidently, feeling proud of your choices, and acting in a way that aligns with your highest self. This vision becomes your motivation, your reason to keep fighting. You must be stronger than the pull of that habit. You must see beyond the immediate comfort it offers and focus on the long-term rewards of breaking free. One of the most powerful ways to destroy a habit is to replace it with something better. A habit doesn't just disappear on its own, it's replaced by a new pattern of behavior. If your habit is procrastination, replace it with a simple daily action, something small that helps you build momentum. If your habit is negative self-talk, replace it with affirmations and positive thoughts that help you strengthen your belief in yourself. If your habit is mindless distractions or excessive indulgence, replace it with a more productive or healthy activity. When you replace an old habit with a positive one, you are not only breaking the cycle but also building new neural pathways that support your growth. At the same time, you must prepare yourself for the resistance that will inevitably come. The moment you try to break a habit, there will be a part of you that fights back. It's like a voice inside you that says, just one more time, and then we'll stop. That's the voice of your comfort zone. The voice of the habit trying to stay in control. But you have to resist it. Don't give in. Every time you push back, you take a step toward freedom. Remember, your goal is to destroy this habit, and that means you need to be persistent and disciplined. You will have moments of weakness, but these moments don't define you. What matters is your response to them. Breaking a destructive habit requires self-discipline and consistency. It's not about making one change and then forgetting about it. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about committing to your future self by making the hard choice now. Each day you wake up and make a conscious decision to act differently, you're gaining ground. Each day you fight the urge to fall into that old habit, you're getting stronger. And soon that habit starts to lose its grip on you. Another key to destroying a habit is to identify the triggers that make you turn to it in the first place. Habits are often triggered by emotions, stress, or certain situations. When you're stressed, tired, or frustrated, you might turn to that old habit as a coping mechanism. But the moment you identify your triggers, you gain power over them. The key is to replace the emotional or situational response with a healthier alternative. If stress is a trigger for you, consider a form of stress relief that's productive, like exercise, journaling, or meditation. If loneliness or boredom triggers your habit, find a new way to engage, maybe connect with a friend or take up a new hobby. It's also essential to hold yourself accountable. Share your goal of breaking this habit with someone you trust and ask them to help hold you accountable. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or a mentor, having someone to check in with can be the difference between success and failure. When you know someone is watching, it motivates you to stay committed. You can also track your progress daily to remind yourself of how far you've come. Celebrate small victories along the way, and don't punish yourself when you slip up. Remember, breaking a habit is a process. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be persistent. The ultimate key to destroying a habit that makes you hate yourself is to replace self-judgment with self-compassion. Many people fail to break their habits because they beat themselves up when they slip. This only reinforces the cycle of shame and guilt that perpetuates the habit in the first place. Instead, practice self-compassion. When you slip, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on. Don't let one mistake derail your entire journey. Be kind to yourself and remember that breaking a habit takes time. Treat yourself with the same kindness and encouragement that you would give a close friend who was trying to make a change. This shift in perspective will make it easier to stay on track and stay motivated. You have the power to destroy the habit that makes you hate yourself, but you need to commit to it. Destroying that habit is a conscious, deliberate act of self-love. It's about recognizing your worth and choosing to act in a way that honors your highest potential. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it requires effort and commitment, but you are capable of it. Every small step you take toward breaking this habit brings you closer to the life you want. It's not an overnight process, but it's a process that will transform your life. So today, make the decision. Look at that habit square in the face and say enough is enough. You deserve better. You deserve the strength to make choices that align with who you really are. Destroy this habit and step into the life that you were meant to live. It's time to stop living with regret and start living with purpose. The habit that has held you back for so long doesn't define you anymore. You have the power to break free and create the future you deserve. Number 2. Cut off what is slowly killing your drive. Every person has moments in their life where they feel on top of the world. You're energized, motivated, and full of ideas. But over time, something changes. You start to feel sluggish. The things that once excited you no longer do. You begin to notice that your drive is slipping away. And instead of moving forward, you feel stuck. This is the moment when you realize something is quietly draining your energy and killing your motivation, piece by piece. What you're experiencing is the slow erosion of your drive. The worst part about this process is that it often happens without us even noticing. You don't wake up one day and suddenly realize you've lost your drive. It happens over time, through small distractions, bad habits, and toxic environments. Whether it's a negative relationship, a draining job, or simply the constant distraction of the modern world, it begins to eat away at your passion and enthusiasm. Slowly, day by day, you stop pushing yourself. You stop taking the actions that once brought you joy and fulfillment. And before you know it, the fire that once burned brightly is reduced to a flicker, and you find yourself asking, "What happened to my drive?" The first step in regaining your energy is to take a hard look at what's causing the drain. What's stealing your motivation? It could be the people around you. Are you surrounded by negativity or people who don't support your goals? Are you hanging out with people who constantly complain, gossip, or bring you down? These are the relationships that are sucking the life out of you. You can't move forward if your energy is being drained by others' negative emotions. It's time to cut these connections. It doesn't matter if it's family, friends, or colleagues. If they are consistently draining your energy and preventing you from growing, they need to be removed from your life. Next, consider your environment. Are you spending time in places that inspire you, or are you stuck in places that keep you stagnant? The physical spaces around you influence your mindset and energy levels. A messy, cluttered, and uninspiring environment can make it difficult to focus and stay motivated. Take a close look at where you're spending your time. If it's not an environment that fosters growth, productivity, and positive energy, it's time to make a change. You might need to move, redecorate, or simply remove distractions from your immediate space to create a place that supports your goals. Another key factor that slowly kills your drive is how you spend your time. Are you wasting time on meaningless activities that don't align with your goals? Time is our most valuable resource, yet most people waste it without even realizing it. Consider how much time you spend on things like social media, watching TV, or scrolling through the internet. How much of that time is spent on activities that truly move you forward? It's easy to get caught up in the noise and distractions of the world, but every moment spent on something that doesn't serve your purpose is a moment that's slowly draining your energy. You need to take a hard look at how you're spending your time and eliminate the distractions that are keeping you from your true potential. The habits you engage in every day also play a massive role in determining your drive. Are you living in a way that supports your physical, emotional, and mental health? Poor habits, like not getting enough sleep, eating unhealthy food, or avoiding exercise, create a foundation of weakness that will eventually lead to burnout. These habits may seem harmless at first, but over time they weaken your body and mind, reducing your ability to perform at your best. The most successful people understand that their physical and mental well-being are vital to maintaining high levels of motivation. If your body is unhealthy, your mind will follow. Cut off the habits that are slowing you down. Prioritize your health, and the energy to pursue your dreams will follow. You also need to assess your goals. Are they clear and meaningful to you, or are they goals you've inherited from others, society, or expectations around you? Many people lose their drive because they don't have a true connection to their goals. They're chasing things that don't excite them or don't align with their true purpose. When you pursue goals that don't resonate with you, it's easy to lose motivation. The key to reigniting your drive is to reconnect with what truly matters to you. Find the goals that excite you, the ones that make you feel alive. These are the goals that will fuel your passion and keep you moving forward. Another major source of energy drain is the negative self-talk and limiting beliefs that many of us carry. We all have an inner voice that can either empower us or hold us back. If your inner voice is filled with doubt, fear, or self-criticism, it will slowly destroy your motivation. That inner voice tells you that you're not good enough, that success is too far out of reach, or that you don't deserve what you want. These thoughts are poison to your drive. You need to confront them head-on and replace them with thoughts of possibility, self-belief, and confidence. Every time you hear that negative voice in your head, challenge it. Counter it with a positive affirmation or a belief that empowers you to keep moving forward. The more you replace the negative with the positive, the stronger your drive will become. It's also important to recognize when you're overcommitting to things that don't align with your goals. When you spread yourself too thin, you lose focus and energy. You need to get comfortable with saying no to things that don't serve you. Saying no isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength and self-respect. Protect your time and energy by setting boundaries and refusing to allow anything or anyone to take your focus away from what matters most. Each time you say no to something that drains you, you are saying yes to your own growth and success. Lastly, you must embrace the power of self-discipline. Your drive will not survive without it. It's easy to let your emotions guide your actions, but to sustain long-term motivation, you need to develop the discipline to keep going even when you don't feel like it. This means showing up every day, even on the days when it's hard, when you're tired, or when life gets in the way. Discipline will keep you moving forward even when your motivation fades. It builds momentum, and that momentum is what ultimately carries you to success. Cutting off what's killing your drive isn't a one-time event. It's a continual process of taking inventory of your life, eliminating what doesn't serve you, and replacing it with what propels you forward. It's about creating a life that supports your dreams, your goals, and your highest potential. It's about consciously removing the toxic influences that drain your energy and choosing to fill your life with people, habits, and actions that fuel your fire. It's time to take control. Stop letting the things around you dictate your energy and drive. Cut off the distractions, the negative people, the bad habits, and the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Reclaim your focus, your passion, and your power. You have what it takes to move forward and build the life you truly want. Start today. Cut off what's slowly killing your drive and watch your motivation soar. Number 3. Crush the routine that keeps you feeling weak. You might be stuck in a routine that doesn't serve you. Every day feels like the same. You wake up, go through the motions, and by the end of the day, you feel drained, frustrated, and defeated. The excitement, the passion, the drive you once had has faded away. The routine you're in is keeping you weak. It's like you're treading water in the same place, never making any real progress. It's time to face the truth. Your routine is holding you back. Let me tell you something. You are the architect of your own life. The routine you follow, whether you realize it or not, is a reflection of your choices, your mindset, and the way you view your own potential. Every time you repeat actions that keep you stuck, you're telling yourself you're not capable of more. You're telling yourself that where you are right now is all you can expect. But deep down, you know that's not true. You were born for more than this. You were made for greatness. Yet your routine has become the silent killer of that potential. It's time to change. You have the power to break free from the weak routine that's holding you back. It starts with a decision, a commitment to no longer accept the mediocrity that's been allowed to creep into your life. This is the moment where you stop giving excuses and start taking action. Start by recognizing how your routine is making you feel weak. Look at the habits you've formed and ask yourself, are they helping you become the person you want to be? Are they propelling you forward, or are they keeping you in a loop of frustration and stagnation? Maybe your routine involves hitting the snooze button every morning, wasting time scrolling through social media, or procrastinating on important tasks. These small actions are taking away your energy, your time, and your focus. Every time you follow this routine, you're reinforcing weakness. You're choosing the comfort of familiarity over the strength of progress. Crushing this routine starts with a shift in mindset. You need to stop believing that comfort is the same as security. Too many people stay in a routine simply because it feels safe. They think, at least I know what to expect. But the truth is that safety is an illusion. You're not growing in comfort. You're not challenging yourself in comfort. And without growth and challenge, there's no strength. Comfort will never build your resilience or your ability to thrive. In fact, it will slowly erode your confidence and willpower. The first thing you need to do is step outside of your comfort zone. This doesn't mean you have to make drastic changes overnight, but you must begin with small steps that push you beyond your routine. If you wake up at the same time every day and feel tired and unmotivated, change that. Try waking up just 30 minutes earlier. Use that time to do something that sets you up for success. Whether it's reading, exercising, or simply reflecting on your goals. That small change can make all the difference in how your day plays out. It will give you the momentum to keep moving forward. You can't expect change to happen if you keep doing the same things every day. You have to break the cycle of weak actions and replace them with ones that support your growth. Look at the way you spend your time. If your routine involves watching TV or scrolling mindlessly through your phone, that's a huge energy drain. These actions do nothing to help you move forward. They're a distraction from your potential. Instead of letting those habits control you, take charge of your time. Prioritize activities that push you towards your goals. You'll start to feel stronger when you fill your day with purpose-driven actions. This isn't just about productivity. It's about doing things that bring you closer to the person you want to become. Each step you take away from a weak routine is a step toward a stronger, more empowered version of yourself. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter and working with intention. Ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What is the most important thing I can do today to get closer to that? When you start answering those questions, your routine shifts from one of weakness to one of power. You also need to consider how your physical health plays a role in breaking your weak routine. If you're not taking care of your body, your routine will continue to drain your energy. Physical activity is one of the most powerful ways to break the cycle of weakness. When you move your body, you increase blood flow, release endorphins, and boost your overall energy levels. It's easy to fall into the trap of being too tired to work out or too busy to make time for exercise. But the truth is, exercise will make you feel stronger, more energized, and more focused. It's one of the most powerful tools you have to crush a weak routine. Similarly, consider what you're eating. Are you fueling your body with the nutrients it needs to thrive? Or are you eating foods that leave you feeling sluggish and unmotivated? Your diet directly impacts your energy levels and mental clarity. If you're constantly eating junk food or drinking too much caffeine, you're setting yourself up for a crash. The way you nourish your body will have a direct impact on the strength of your routine. Focus on eating whole, nutritious foods that give you the energy you need to tackle your day with strength and focus. Another aspect of crushing your weak routine is eliminating distractions. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with notifications, emails, and messages. These distractions can pull you away from your goals and derail your productivity. Take control of your environment and minimize distractions wherever possible. Turn off your phone notifications, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and create a workspace that promotes focus and concentration. The more distractions you eliminate, the more power you'll have over your routine. You must also understand that crushing your weak routine requires commitment. It's not something that will happen overnight. It's a process that requires discipline and consistency. There will be days when you feel like falling back into old habits, but that's when you need to dig deep and remind yourself of why you're making these changes. Stay focused on the bigger picture and keep moving forward, even when it feels hard. Breaking a weak routine is about making intentional decisions every day. It's about choosing actions that align with your goals and your purpose. It's about taking control of your life and refusing to let your routine dictate your future. Each small change you make will add up over time, and soon you'll find yourself feeling stronger, more confident, and more motivated than ever before. The life you want is waiting for you, but you have to be willing to break the routine that's holding you back. Start today. Make that change and crush the weak habits that have been keeping you from your true potential. Number 4. Remove one habit that wastes your precious energy. It's the fuel that powers you throughout the day, the driving force that pushes you toward your goals. But how often do you find yourself running on empty, constantly feeling drained or exhausted? It happens to all of us. The truth is, many of us unknowingly waste our precious energy on things that don't serve us or help us get closer to where we want to be. These energy-draining habits are silently holding us back, keeping us from reaching our true potential. Now is the time to take a hard look at the habits that are wasting your energy. Ask yourself, what are you doing every day that leaves you feeling exhausted, mentally drained, or emotionally spent? Whether it's procrastination, negative thinking, poor sleep, or spending time with people who drain your energy, these habits can rob you of your ability to move forward and achieve your goals. The first step is to become aware of these habits. If you don't acknowledge them, they will continue to sabotage your progress. Think about the times when you feel completely wiped out for no reason. What were you doing just before that moment? Was it something productive or something that left you feeling worse about yourself? If you spend your time doing things that don't contribute to your well-being or your success, then it's time to reevaluate those habits. Remove them before they continue to take from you. Let's start by looking at how time management plays a role in wasting your energy. Every time you find yourself wasting time on trivial tasks or procrastinating, you're siphoning away energy that could be better spent. The time you waste on things that don't matter is time you'll never get back. If you constantly push things off or get distracted by things that don't move you toward your goals, you're building a cycle of exhaustion and frustration. You're using up your mental and emotional energy on things that aren't worth your attention. The solution? Focus on what truly matters. Eliminate time wasters and prioritize actions that support your goals. Another major energy waster is negative thinking. It's so easy to fall into the trap of negative self-talk. We've all been there, doubting ourselves, thinking we're not good enough, or wondering if we'll ever make it. But here's the thing. Negative thinking doesn't help. It drains you. It takes away your clarity and your motivation. It's like carrying a heavy weight around with you all day long. Every time you entertain those negative thoughts, you're feeding a habit that drains your energy. The key to breaking free from this cycle is to replace those negative thoughts with positive, empowering ones. Challenge the thoughts that tell you you're not capable or that success is out of reach. Replace them with thoughts that reinforce your strength and potential. The more you do this, the less energy you'll waste on self-doubt and the more energy you'll have to focus on the things that matter. Poor sleep is another massive energy killer. How many times have you stayed up late scrolling through your phone or binge-watching TV, only to wake up feeling groggy and unmotivated the next day? Lack of sleep doesn't just affect your physical health. It also impacts your mental clarity and emotional well-being. When you don't get enough rest, everything feels harder. Your energy is low, your focus is scattered, and your patience is thin. It's nearly impossible to perform at your best when you're running on empty. If you're serious about removing habits that waste your energy, prioritize your sleep. Set a routine that allows you to get enough rest, and be mindful of what you do before bed. Avoid distractions and create an environment that promotes relaxation. Your body and mind need sleep to function at their highest level, so give them what they need. Another habit that drains your energy is spending time with people who suck the life out of you. We all know someone who seems to drain us every time we interact with them. Maybe they're constantly negative, complaining, or bringing drama into your life. It's easy to get stuck in these relationships because you want to be there for them. But the reality is these relationships are taking up your valuable energy. You cannot afford to spend your time and energy on people who are not supportive or uplifting. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and make you feel energized. The right people will help you move forward, not hold you back. One of the most subtle energy wasters is multitasking. It might seem like a great way to get more done, but in reality, multitasking often leads to burnout and inefficiency. When you try to juggle too many things at once, you split your focus and scatter your energy. You end up doing a little bit of everything but never fully committing to one task. As a result, you feel mentally drained and dissatisfied with your work. Instead of multitasking, focus on one thing at a time. Give it your full attention, complete it to the best of your ability, and then move on to the next task. You'll be amazed at how much more energy you'll have when you stop spreading yourself too thin. Also, consider the habit of overcommitting. How many times have you said yes to things out of obligation, even when you didn't want to? Maybe you agreed to a favor, took on a project at work, or went to an event you didn't enjoy. Every time you overcommit, you're stretching yourself too thin. You're wasting your precious energy on things that aren't aligned with your goals or values. Stop saying yes to everything. Learn to set boundaries and say no when it's necessary. Your time and energy are valuable, and you can't afford to waste them on things that don't bring you closer to your vision of success. Lastly, let's talk about the habit of not taking care of your physical health. If you're not eating well, exercising, or taking care of your body, you're running on empty. Physical health is the foundation for mental and emotional strength. When you neglect your body, everything else suffers. You have less energy, less motivation, and less clarity. But when you take care of your body, through proper nutrition, regular exercise, and self-care, you create a foundation that supports everything else in your life. If you want to remove habits that waste your energy, start by taking care of your body, fuel it with the nutrients it needs, move it regularly, and get enough rest. When you take care of yourself physically, you'll have more energy to put toward everything else that matters. Number 5. Reject anything that makes you feel ashamed daily. Shame is a heavy burden to carry, and it's something that we all experience in different forms. It's a feeling that creeps in when you've done something you regret or failed to live up to your own expectations. But what many people don't realize is how deeply shame can affect every aspect of their lives. When you allow shame to linger, it eats away at your confidence, clouds your judgment, and drains your energy. It can become a silent force that holds you back from achieving your true potential. The key to moving forward in life is to reject anything that makes you feel ashamed daily. You don't have to live under the weight of shame. You don't have to carry around feelings of guilt or inadequacy every single day. When you reject these feelings and the sources that bring them, you reclaim your personal power and begin to build a future that is full of self-respect and possibility. It's time to stop living in a cycle of shame and to start embracing a life where you can feel proud of who you are and what you're capable of achieving. The first step in rejecting shame is recognizing where it comes from. Ask yourself, what are the things in your life that trigger these feelings? Is it something you've done, something you've failed to do, or the way someone else has treated you? For some, shame can stem from actions that don't align with their values. Maybe you made choices in the past that didn't serve your higher self, and every time you think about them, you feel a rush of regret. Maybe you've let people down or hurt someone you care about. If this is the case, it's important to acknowledge the mistake, learn from it, and then let it go. Holding on to shame serves no purpose other than to keep you stuck in the past. It's not helping you grow, it's only holding you back. If the source of your shame comes from others, whether it's criticism, judgment, or mistreatment, you need to reject the idea that anyone has the right to define your worth. People will always have opinions, but those opinions don't have to dictate how you feel about yourself. The truth is, no one has the right to make you feel less than you are. What others think of you is none of your business. You must protect your inner peace by rejecting the negative opinions or criticisms that weigh you down. Understand that their judgment is a reflection of them, not you. When you give power to someone else's opinion, you are allowing them to control how you feel. Take back that power by rejecting the shame they try to impose on you. Sometimes, we carry shame because we compare ourselves to others. In the age of social media, it's easy to look at the lives of others and feel like you're falling short. Maybe you see people achieving success, living their dreams, or seemingly having it all together, while you're still struggling. This comparison game can make you feel inferior or inadequate. It can stir up feelings of shame for not being where you think you should be. But comparison is the thief of joy. It's a never-ending cycle of self-doubt and dissatisfaction. The truth is, you don't know anyone else's story. You don't know the struggles, failures, or sacrifices they've faced to get where they are. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Focus on your own growth and progress, not on what others are doing. When you reject the need to compare yourself to others, you free yourself from the trap of shame. Another way that shame creeps in is through the standards you set for yourself. Maybe you've created unrealistic expectations or goals that leave you feeling like you're constantly falling short. These high standards can lead to a cycle of self-criticism. You set out to achieve something, but when you don't reach that goal, you feel ashamed. But the truth is, growth is a process. Success isn't about being perfect every time. It's about making progress, even if it's small. Reject the idea that you need to be perfect in everything you do. Embrace the fact that you will make mistakes, and that's okay. What matters is how you learn from them and keep moving forward. You must also reject the habit of seeking validation from others. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting approval or recognition, but this is another form of external shame. When you rely on others to validate your worth, you give away your personal power. Your self-esteem should not depend on external sources. It should come from within. It's important to learn to validate yourself. Recognize your strengths, appreciate your efforts, and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. When you validate yourself, you stop looking for others to give you permission to feel good about who you are. Rejection of shame also means rejecting toxic relationships. You know the ones, those people who consistently make you feel bad about yourself. They criticize, belittle, or undermine you in ways that chip away at your confidence. They may not always do it intentionally, but their behavior leaves you feeling less than. If you want to stop feeling ashamed, you need to distance yourself from people who do not lift you up. Surround yourself with those who support you, encourage you, and push you to be the best version of yourself. Toxic relationships only keep you trapped in the cycle of shame and self-doubt. You deserve to be around people who help you grow, not those who keep you stuck in negativity. Another important aspect of rejecting shame is learning to forgive yourself. It's easy to hold on to the past, to continue punishing yourself for things that can't be changed. But self-forgiveness is key to letting go of shame. Understand that you are human, and you will make mistakes. Don't let those mistakes define who you are or limit what you can achieve. Learn from them, let them go, and move forward with the knowledge that you are worthy of happiness and success. When you forgive yourself, you free yourself from the weight of shame and give yourself permission to move forward with confidence. Rejecting shame means setting healthy boundaries, not allowing anyone to treat you with disrespect or make you feel less than. It's about standing up for yourself and saying no when something or someone doesn't align with your values or sense of self-worth. You are not obligated to endure anything that makes you feel small or unworthy. Your peace of mind, your happiness, and your confidence are far more important than trying to please others or fit into their expectations. Number 6. Kill the habit that blocks your future progress. You need to acknowledge that there are habits, choices, and behaviors that will only hold you back from achieving your true potential. These are the habits that block your future progress, keeping you stuck in the same place year after year. The challenge is simple. You have to kill them. You have to recognize the ones that are no longer serving you and take the decisive action to eliminate them. These are habits that may have felt comfortable or familiar in the past, but they no longer align with the person you want to become. The good news is, once you kill those habits, you'll make room for better ones, and you'll unlock the full potential that's been waiting inside you all along. First, you have to identify the habits that are blocking you. Start by taking an honest look at your daily routine. Ask yourself, what am I doing every single day that's keeping me from moving forward? Are you procrastinating? Are you stuck in negative self-talk? Are you spending too much time on distractions like social media, or wasting energy on things that don't align with your goals? These are the things that you need to address. Often these habits are small actions that pile up over time and become big obstacles, but they are changeable. You have the power to stop them in their tracks. Procrastination is one of the most powerful habits that blocks progress. It's easy to put things off, to tell yourself that you'll get started tomorrow or next week, but in reality, tomorrow never comes. Procrastination makes you feel like you're working hard, but it's all in your head. You're not getting any closer to your goals, and in fact, you're only creating more pressure for yourself. It's a cycle that feeds into itself. You delay, you feel bad, and then you delay some more. The way to kill this habit is to take immediate action. Don't give yourself the chance to procrastinate. Break down your tasks into smaller, manageable chunks and tackle them one at a time. When you stop procrastinating, you create momentum, and momentum creates progress. You start to build trust in yourself, and that's when real growth happens. Another habit that blocks progress is the habit of staying in your comfort zone. It's natural to want to avoid discomfort, but the truth is, nothing meaningful ever happens when you stay in the same place. Growth requires discomfort. If you're always choosing the easy path, you're never going to challenge yourself to reach your potential. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the harder it becomes to break out of it. You become complacent, and you start to accept mediocrity as the norm. To break this habit, you have to force yourself to step outside of your comfort zone regularly. Push yourself to take on challenges that seem daunting. Embrace failure as a part of the process, because failure is the best teacher. When you stop avoiding discomfort and start leaning into it, you'll start making strides toward the future you want. The habit of negative self-talk is another enemy of progress. Your mind can be your greatest ally, but it can also be your worst enemy. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, or that it's too late for you, you'll start to believe those lies. Negative self-talk holds you back from reaching your true potential because it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? The key to killing this habit is to change your internal dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, stop and reframe your thoughts. Instead of "I can't do this," say "I haven't done this yet, but I'm learning." Change the narrative in your head, and you'll start to change the way you see yourself and the way you approach challenges. Another habit that keeps you stuck is the habit of holding on to past mistakes. We all make mistakes, but some of us get so caught up in the past that we can't move forward. We let our failures define us, and we start to believe that we're not capable of success. Holding on to past mistakes can create a cycle of shame and self-doubt. If you want to kill this habit, you need to accept that mistakes are part of the process, not the end of the road. Learn from them, forgive yourself, and then move on. Don't allow the past to dictate your future. The future is unwritten, and it's yours to create. Let's talk about the habit of distraction. Distraction is everywhere in today's world. It's easy to get sucked into the constant noise of social media, email, or other people's agendas. Distraction takes away your focus, and without focus, progress is impossible. The habit of distraction is a silent killer. You can be busy all day long, but at the end of the day, if you haven't focused on your goals, you've accomplished nothing. To kill this habit, you need to create boundaries. Set aside specific time blocks for work and for relaxation. Limit your exposure to distractions during your productive hours. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and commit to focusing on the task at hand. When you stop letting distractions control your time, you'll find that you have more energy and clarity to focus on what truly matters. The habit of playing the victim is another major obstacle to progress. It's easy to feel like the world is against you, especially when things aren't going as planned. But playing the victim keeps you powerless. When you shift the responsibility for your life onto external circumstances or other people, you relinquish control. The truth is, you are in control of your own life. You are responsible for the choices you make and the actions you take. To kill the habit of playing the victim, take ownership of your life. Stop blaming others or circumstances for your current situation. Take action and start doing the work that will move you forward. Your progress begins with you, not with the world around you. Another habit to kill is the habit of waiting for the perfect moment. If you're always waiting for the stars to align, or for everything to be perfect, you'll never get started. The truth is, there is no such thing as a perfect moment. Waiting for perfection is just another form of procrastination. If you want to make progress, you have to start where you are. Use the resources you have right now, and take action. Progress is made by consistently showing up and doing the work, even when things aren't perfect. Don't wait for the right moment, create it by taking action. Finally, the habit of not setting clear goals is a killer of progress. If you don't know where you're going, how can you expect to get there? Goals give you direction, they give you purpose, and they help you stay on track. Without clear goals, you'll drift through life without a sense of direction. If you want to move forward, you need to set clear, measurable goals. Break them down into small, actionable steps, and then take consistent action toward achieving them. Your goals will keep you focused, motivated, and moving in the right direction. Killing the habits that block your future progress is not easy, but it is necessary. It's about taking control of your life and making intentional choices that move you toward your future self. Every small step you take to eliminate these habits is a step toward creating a life that is full of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Start today and commit to killing the habits that no longer serve you. Make room for new positive habits that will propel you toward the life you've always wanted. The future is yours to create.
Number 7. Stop feeding what keeps you emotionally stuck forever. You have to recognize what keeps you emotionally stuck. Emotions are powerful forces. And when you feed negative emotions like anger, resentment, guilt, or shame, you anchor yourself in the past. This emotional baggage prevents you from stepping into your full potential and building the future you deserve. The longer you hold on to these negative emotions, the more they control your life. If you want to break free from the chains that keep you stuck, you have to stop feeding them. It's time to stop feeding the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that hold you in a place of emotional stagnation. The first step to stopping this cycle is awareness. You need to identify what you're feeding emotionally. What situations, people, or past experiences trigger your negative emotions? Do certain people make you angry or upset? Are there past failures that you keep replaying in your mind? Are you holding on to grudges or hurt that have been festering for years? Recognizing what keeps you emotionally stuck is the first step toward breaking free from it. You can't change what you don't acknowledge, and you can't move forward until you identify what's keeping you in place. Once you know what's keeping you emotionally stuck, you have to take control of your response to these emotions. Every time you feel anger, resentment, or frustration building up inside you, take a step back and pause.
Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way, and is this emotion serving me? Negative emotions are natural, but they become destructive when you allow them to control you. They cloud your judgment, prevent you from making clear decisions, and affect your relationships and your overall well-being. To stop feeding them, you have to consciously choose not to let them dominate your thoughts and actions. It's also crucial to stop reliving past mistakes. Many people stay emotionally stuck because they keep replaying their past failures. They get caught in a loop of self-blame and regret, and this cycle makes it impossible for them to move forward. It's important to understand that your past does not define you. Your past is simply a collection of experiences that have shaped who you are today, but they don't dictate who you will become. The more you feed past mistakes, the more power you give them over your present. Instead, focus on the lessons you've learned from those experiences and use them as fuel to grow. By letting go of the emotional weight of past failures, you free yourself to create a future based on the choices you make today. Another key to breaking free from emotional stagnation is learning to forgive, not for the other person's sake, but for your own. Holding on to anger or resentment doesn't hurt the person you're upset with. It only hurts you. It keeps you emotionally trapped, feeding a cycle of negativity. The moment you forgive, you let go of the power the other person has over you. It's an act of self-liberation. This doesn't mean that you condone what was done to you. It simply means that you are no longer willing to carry the burden of that pain. Forgiveness sets you free from the emotional chains that bind you. Another habit that feeds emotional stagnation is the tendency to dwell on problems instead of solutions. When you focus on what's wrong, you magnify the issues in your life. You waste precious energy on the things you cannot change, rather than focusing on the things you can control. The more you dwell on your problems, the more power you give them. The key to stopping this cycle is to shift your focus from what's wrong to what you can do about it. When problems arise, ask yourself, what can I do to solve this? What's within my control? Focusing on solutions, rather than problems, is a powerful way to regain your emotional power and move forward. Another way you keep yourself emotionally stuck is by surrounding yourself with negativity. If you're constantly surrounded by toxic people or environments that drain your energy, you're feeding your own emotional stagnation. Negative people will reinforce your doubts, insecurities, and fears. They will keep you trapped in a cycle of negativity. To break free from this, you need to protect your energy. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, inspire you, and challenge you to grow. Create a positive environment where you can thrive. You don't have to stay in a situation or relationship that keeps you emotionally stuck. Protecting your emotional well-being is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. You also have to be honest with yourself about the role you play in your emotional state. It's easy to point fingers and blame others for the way you feel, but true growth comes when you take responsibility for your emotions. Stop blaming others for your pain. Stop looking for external sources of validation and happiness. When you rely on external factors for your emotional well-being, you give away your power. The moment you take responsibility for your emotions is the moment you take back control. No one can make you feel a certain way without your consent. You have the power to choose your emotional response, and when you realize that, you stop feeding the emotions that keep you stuck. Another key to getting unstuck is to let go of the need for perfection. Many people stay emotionally stuck because they are constantly striving for perfection. They believe that if they can just do everything perfectly, they'll finally feel worthy or at peace. But perfection is an illusion. The pursuit of perfection feeds your insecurities and keeps you in a constant state of dissatisfaction. Embrace the fact that you're human and that imperfection is part of the journey. Let go of the unrealistic standard of perfection and give yourself permission to fail, learn, and grow. When you accept imperfection, you release the emotional tension that comes from constantly trying to measure up to an impossible ideal. You can also stop feeding what keeps you emotionally stuck by changing your perspective on challenges. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, start seeing them as opportunities to grow. Life is not meant to be easy all the time, and challenges are a natural part of the process. When you stop fearing challenges and start embracing them, you take away their power to control your emotions. Every challenge is a chance to build strength, resilience, and character.
When you stop feeding the fear of failure and start feeding the desire for growth, you empower yourself to rise above any situation. Finally, the key to stopping emotional stagnation is self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Stop beating yourself up for past mistakes, and stop judging yourself so harshly. You are doing the best you can with the resources you have, and that's all you can do. Treat yourself with the same love, care, and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When you stop feeding self-criticism and start feeding self-love, you'll find that your emotional state will shift dramatically. Self-compassion allows you to release the negative emotions that keep you stuck and creates the emotional space you need to grow. To stop feeding what keeps you emotionally stuck forever, you have to stop allowing negative emotions to control your life. You have to stop holding on to past hurts, stop dwelling on problems, and stop surrounding yourself with negativity. You need to start forgiving, letting go, and taking responsibility for your own emotional well-being. Most importantly, you have to show yourself love and compassion. When you stop feeding the things that hold you emotionally stagnant, you'll start to feel lighter, freer, and more in control of your life. Rebuild yourself by feeding the positive emotions, the thoughts, and the actions that will propel you toward the person you were meant to become.
Number 8. Eliminate the pattern that ruins your mental strength. You must confront and eliminate the patterns that undermine your mental strength. Mental strength is not something that just happens overnight. It is built through consistent effort, deliberate choices, and the actions you take each day. However, many people inadvertently allow certain patterns to weaken their resolve and hold them back from achieving their true potential. These mental patterns can be incredibly sneaky. They often become so ingrained in your daily life that you might not even recognize their presence until they start undermining your confidence and pushing you toward stagnation. These patterns, whether it's procrastination, negative thinking, self-doubt, or a lack of discipline, can slowly erode your mental strength, leaving you feeling powerless and stuck. The first thing you must do is identify the specific mental patterns that are harming you. This requires a level of self-awareness that many people avoid because they're afraid of confronting the uncomfortable truth about their habits. Take a hard look at your daily thoughts, routines, and behaviors. What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Are you starting your day with a sense of purpose, or do you immediately fall into negativity, doubt, or distraction? Are there recurring thoughts that keep you from making progress? Do you find yourself stuck in a loop of anxiety, worry, or overthinking? These are all signs of mental patterns that weaken your ability to stay focused and resilient. Once you've identified the patterns that drain your mental strength, the next step is to recognize how these habits affect your life. Understand the cost of continuing to let them control you. Every time you procrastinate or allow yourself to get sidetracked, you waste precious time and energy. Every time you entertain negative thoughts or succumb to self-doubt, you feed the fear that keeps you from moving forward. These patterns limit your potential and create a cycle of frustration that's hard to break. The longer you allow these habits to persist, the more you weaken your ability to take decisive action and build the life you want. Your mental strength is directly tied to your ability to break free from these patterns. If you continue to let them dictate your behavior, you will never be able to reach your highest potential. Now it's time to take action. The first way to eliminate these mental patterns is to replace them with positive, productive habits. For example, if you tend to start your day by scrolling through social media or checking emails, you are immediately feeding your mind with distractions and negativity. To build mental strength, you need to start your day with intention. Create a morning routine that sets a positive tone for the rest of your day. This could involve exercise, meditation, journaling, or planning your top priorities for the day. When you start your day with focus, you are taking control of your mental state from the very beginning. This simple shift in your routine can help you eliminate the pattern of distraction and replace it with a more powerful, purposeful mindset. Another mental pattern that ruins your strength is negative self-talk. We all have an inner voice, and for many people, this voice can be incredibly critical and discouraging. You might tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that you're not capable of reaching your goals. These thoughts not only damage your self-esteem, but they also create a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe you can't do something, you are less likely to take action, and when you don't take action, you reinforce the belief that you're not capable. To break free from this pattern,
you must actively challenge negative self-talk. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and ask yourself, is this true? Is this thought helping me? Or is it holding me back? Shift your focus to empowering thoughts. Remind yourself of your strengths, past accomplishments, and the reasons why you're capable of achieving your goals. This shift in mindset will gradually replace the pattern of negativity with one of self-belief. Another mental pattern that sabotages your strength is perfectionism. Perfectionism can be crippling because it paralyzes you with the fear of making mistakes. If you wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you'll never take action. This pattern can keep you stuck in indecision, and you'll find yourself procrastinating instead of moving forward. The key to breaking this pattern is to adopt a mindset of progress over perfection. Understand that you don't have to be perfect to succeed, and that mistakes are part of the process. Every failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. Instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, focus on taking the next step, no matter how small. This shift in perspective will free you from the shackles of perfectionism and allow you to take action without fear. A key pattern that many people struggle with is the inability to set clear boundaries. When you allow others to dictate your time, energy, and priorities, you weaken your mental strength. Boundaries are crucial for protecting your time and focus. Without boundaries, you will constantly be pulled in different directions, leaving you exhausted and mentally drained. To eliminate this pattern, you must learn to say no when necessary and prioritize your own well-being. It's not selfish to set boundaries. In fact, it's essential for your mental health and personal success. Whether it's saying no to people who drain your energy or saying no to tasks that don't align with your goals, setting boundaries allows you to protect your mental strength and stay focused on what matters most. Another pattern that undermines mental strength is the tendency to avoid discomfort. Many people shy away from situations that make them uncomfortable, whether it's having a difficult conversation, taking on a challenging project, or facing their fears. Avoiding discomfort, however, only strengthens the grip of fear and insecurity. To build mental strength, you must learn to embrace discomfort. When you push yourself to do things that challenge you, you expand your limits and build resilience. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the stronger you become. Stop letting the fear of discomfort hold you back, and start viewing challenges as opportunities to grow and strengthen your mental resolve. Lastly, a common pattern that weakens mental strength is neglecting self-care. Many people neglect their physical, emotional, and mental health because they prioritize work or other responsibilities. However, taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you neglect self-care, you run the risk of burning out, losing focus, and becoming mentally fatigued. To eliminate this pattern, make self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. This means getting enough sleep, eating healthy, exercising, and engaging in activities that relax and recharge you. When you take care of your body and mind, you are reinforcing your mental strength and building the resilience needed to tackle life's challenges. Eliminating the patterns that weaken your mental strength is a critical step in rebuilding yourself. These patterns, whether they involve procrastination, negative thinking, self-doubt, or lack of self-care, can slowly erode your confidence and prevent you from reaching your potential. By recognizing these patterns and taking proactive steps to replace them with positive habits, you'll begin to build the mental strength necessary to achieve your goals and create the life you want. Start by making small changes, and over time, these changes will lead to lasting transformation. Remember, building mental strength is a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to the strong, resilient person you're meant to be.
Number 9. Erase the actions that betray your highest self. You must recognize and eliminate the actions that betray your highest self. These are the actions that, when repeated over time, chip away at the person you are truly meant to be. These are not just minor missteps or mistakes, but behaviors that pull you away from the core of who you want to be. Each time you engage in these actions, you distance yourself from your potential, your values, and your true purpose in life. Whether it's a lack of discipline, indulging in toxic habits, or settling for less than you deserve, these actions sabotage your journey to greatness. The first step in this process is identifying the actions that betray your highest self. This requires a moment of brutal honesty with yourself. It's easy to make excuses or justify certain actions, but to truly break free, you need to examine your choices, habits, and behaviors without bias. Look at the ways you spend your time, the people you surround yourself with, and the decisions you make on a daily basis. Are these choices supporting the person you want to become? Are they aligning with your long-term goals, your values, and your vision of your highest self? If not, then they are likely betraying your potential and holding you back. For many, one of the most common actions that betrays their highest self is procrastination. Procrastination is a silent killer of progress. It keeps you stuck in the same place, constantly putting off important tasks and decisions that would propel you forward. Every time you delay doing the things that matter most, you send a message to yourself that you're not worthy of success or that you don't deserve to pursue your dreams. This creates a cycle of self-sabotage where you're constantly delaying the life you want to create. To erase this action, you must stop making excuses and start taking immediate action. Break your tasks into small, manageable steps and commit to completing them without delay. Every time you fight the urge to procrastinate, you're strengthening your discipline and reaffirming your commitment to your highest self. Another action that betrays your highest self is allowing negative self-talk to dominate your thoughts. We all have an inner voice, but for many that voice is a source of constant criticism and doubt. You may find yourself saying things like, "I'm not good enough, I don't deserve success, or I'll never make it." These thoughts create a barrier between you and your highest self because they distort your reality and prevent you from seeing your true potential. You can't build the life you want while simultaneously tearing yourself down with self-doubt. To eliminate this betraying action, you must challenge these negative thoughts as soon as they arise. Practice self-compassion and replace self-criticism with self-encouragement. Remind yourself of your strengths and achievements and recognize that your worth is not defined by your mistakes or shortcomings. By changing your internal dialogue, you start aligning your thoughts with the person you're working to become. Another destructive action that holds people back from their highest selves is settling for less than they deserve. It's easy to fall into the trap of complacency, accepting circumstances, relationships, or situations that are less than what you truly desire or deserve. Whether it's staying in a job you hate, tolerating toxic relationships, or putting up with mediocrity in your own life, this pattern slowly erodes your self-esteem and reinforces the belief that you don't deserve anything better. You may feel stuck or fearful of change, but settling for less is one of the biggest betrayals of your highest self. To eliminate this action, you must take bold steps toward creating a life that aligns with your values and desires. Start by setting clear goals and refusing to settle for anything less than what you know you deserve. Don't allow fear or comfort to keep you in situations that hold you back. Equally as important is eliminating the action of avoiding discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. The person you are meant to become is forged through challenges, discomfort, and adversity. Yet, many people shy away from difficult situations, whether it's avoiding tough conversations, procrastinating on projects, or retreating when faced with challenges. This pattern of avoidance keeps you stagnant and prevents you from becoming the best version of yourself. To erase this action, you must learn to embrace discomfort and take action despite fear. Understand that discomfort is a sign of growth, not a signal to stop. The more you push yourself to face discomfort head-on, the stronger and more resilient you become. Seek out opportunities that challenge you and use them as stepping stones to build your confidence and strength. Another common action that betrays your highest self is indulging in unhealthy habits, whether it's overindulging in food, alcohol, or other substances, or neglecting your physical and mental well-being. These actions not only harm your body, but also undermine your self-respect and discipline. Every time you give in to these unhealthy habits, you send a message to yourself that you're not worthy of taking care of yourself. This reinforces a cycle of self-destructive behavior that keeps you stuck in unhealthy patterns. To eliminate this action, you must take responsibility for your health and well-being. Prioritize exercise, healthy eating, and self-care as part of your daily routine. Treat your body with respect and make choices that nourish you both physically and mentally. The better you take care of yourself, the stronger your mind and body will become, and the more aligned you'll be with your highest self. Similarly, one of the most common betrayals of the highest self is not managing your time wisely.
Time is one of your most valuable resources, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. Yet, many people waste time on trivial activities, social media scrolling, or distractions that add no value to their lives. Every minute spent on these activities is a minute you could have invested in personal growth, relationships, or your career. To erase this action, you must become intentional with your time. Prioritize tasks that contribute to your long-term goals and set boundaries that prevent distractions. Be mindful of how you spend your day and create a schedule that reflects your values and priorities. The more you manage your time effectively, the more you'll accomplish and the closer you'll get to living the life you desire. Lastly, a significant betrayal of your highest self is allowing fear to control your actions. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but when you allow it to dictate your decisions, you prevent yourself from stepping into new opportunities and realizing your potential. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of change, these limiting beliefs hold you back from reaching your goals and creating the life you want. To eliminate this action, you must confront your fears head-on. Instead of letting fear dictate your behavior, use it as a signal that you're on the verge of something great. Take bold action despite the fear, and each time you do, you'll find that the fear loses its grip over you. Over time, you'll become more confident and courageous in the face of uncertainty. Erasing the actions that betray your highest self requires conscious effort, commitment, and a willingness to change. It's about recognizing the habits and behaviors that keep you stuck and intentionally replacing them with actions that align with your highest potential. When you choose to stop betraying yourself, you choose to honor your values, your vision, and your ability to achieve greatness. This journey isn't always easy, but it is necessary if you want to rebuild yourself and step into the life you are truly capable of creating.
Number 10. Break the loop that kills your personal power. You must first understand that it's not just about changing one thing. It's about disrupting a pattern, a cycle, a way of thinking that has consistently drained your energy, your focus, and your ability to live with strength. The loop that I'm referring to is not something that happens overnight, but it's the quiet, insidious process of repeatedly engaging in behaviors, thoughts, or habits that strip away your confidence and your capacity to act. Every time you repeat these patterns, you are reinforcing a cycle that keeps you weak, stagnant, and trapped in a place where your personal power cannot grow. The first step to breaking this loop is recognizing it. So many people live in a constant cycle of self-sabotage and don't even realize it. It's not always easy to see, because the loop often masquerades as something familiar, something comfortable, or something that feels safe. It's the habit of procrastination that keeps you from starting that important project. It's the self-doubt that causes you to second-guess every decision and take no action. It's the fear of failure that keeps you from stepping out of your comfort zone. You've probably lived with these loops for so long that they've become second nature. But to truly break free, you need to see these patterns for what they are: destructive, limiting, and preventing you from living the life you're capable of. Once you recognize the loop, the next step is to take responsibility for it. Many people like to blame external circumstances or other people for their lack of progress, but the reality is that you are the only one who can break the loop. If you've been trapped in this cycle for years, it's because you've allowed it to persist. The good news is that once you take responsibility, you gain the power to change. No one else is going to do it for you. And no external circumstance is going to magically improve unless you make the decision to change. It's time to stop blaming, stop making excuses, and start owning your choices. Breaking the loop starts with making a commitment. When you decide that you are no longer willing to tolerate a life that is dictated by these negative patterns, you unlock your true power. You start to take ownership of your life in a way that you never have before. You take control of your decisions, your actions, and your mindset. You make a commitment to disrupt the cycle of procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and inaction. You commit to putting yourself in situations that challenge you, that push you out of your comfort zone, and that force you to grow. Now, to break the loop, you have to replace the old patterns with new, empowering behaviors. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through consistent, deliberate action. For example, if you've been stuck in a loop of procrastination, you need to actively train yourself to take immediate action. Stop allowing yourself to put things off. Instead of telling yourself, I'll do it later, tell yourself, I'll do it now. Start small, but start. Each small action reinforces your commitment to break free from the loop. It's not about getting it perfect, it's about taking action. Another common loop is the cycle of negative thinking. If you consistently doubt yourself or focus on your limitations, you will continue to feel powerless. These thoughts are not helping you. They are feeding the loop that holds you back. To break this loop, you need to reprogram your thinking. This starts by catching yourself in the act of negative thinking and replacing it with positive affirmations or empowering beliefs. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, replace it with, I am capable of this. Every time you catch yourself in self-doubt, challenge that thought and replace it with something positive. Over time, this will become your new habit, and you'll begin to see a shift in how you view yourself and your potential. It's also important to take a step back and evaluate your environment. The people you surround yourself with have a powerful influence on the loops you get stuck in. If you're surrounded by negativity, criticism, or people who don't believe in your potential, then it's going to be harder for you to break free. Evaluate your relationships and start distancing yourself from toxic influences. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who encourage you to become the best version of yourself, and who hold you accountable. The right people will help you break the loop, not keep you stuck in it. One of the most damaging aspects of the loop is the belief that you're too far gone to change. Many people get discouraged because they feel that their habits, patterns, or ways of thinking are too ingrained to change. But this is a lie. No one is too far gone. You have the power to shift your life at any moment. It doesn't matter how long you've been stuck in the loop. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. The past does not define you. What matters is what you do right now. You have the ability to make the decision to break the loop, to change your behavior, and to start living with power and purpose. To make lasting change, you must also develop the discipline to stay committed even when it's hard. Breaking the loop will not be easy, and there will be times when you're tempted to revert to your old ways. You may feel discouraged, frustrated, or tired. But it's during these times that your personal power is truly tested. Will you stay committed to your vision for yourself, or will you fall back into the old patterns? The key is to push through those moments of discomfort. Each time you do, you become stronger, more resilient, and more powerful. And every time you resist the urge to go back to the loop, you make the loop weaker until, one day, it no longer controls you. Finally, remember that breaking the loop is not a one-time event, it's a continuous process. Even once you break free from one loop, you'll encounter new challenges, and there will be new cycles to disrupt. However, the more you practice breaking the loop, the more natural it becomes. You start to recognize patterns faster, and you build the mental strength to confront them head-on. The more you break these loops, the more powerful you become. And before long, you'll look back and realize that you've transformed your life by simply refusing to stay stuck. Breaking the loop that kills your personal power is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making a decision every single day to step into your personal power and refuse to let the negative cycles control your life. The more you commit to this process, the stronger and more capable you will become. You have everything it takes to break free from the cycle that holds you back. It's time to make the decision, take the action, and create the life you were meant to live.